Welcome back to BNB Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the electrifying drama unfolding on The Bold and the Beautiful for Thursday, June 5th, where tensions soar, secrets unravel, and dangerous intentions take center stage. In this action-packed episode, Luna Nozawa unleashes her darker side with a chilling plan for vengeance, while a tender moment between Will Spencer and Electra Forrester gets an unexpected interruption from Ridge Forrester. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp grapples with a heart-wrenching decision about his marriage to Sheila Carter after a shocking confession comes to light. Buckle up as we unpack the intricate web of emotions, betrayals, and simmering conflicts that promise to keep you glued to your screen. Let's start with the fiery undercurrent of romance that quickly turns sour in the design office at Forrester Creations. Will Spencer and Electra Forrester, caught in the throes of young passion, steal a private moment amidst the sketches and fabric swatches. Their lips lock in a heated kiss, the kind that sends sparks flying, as they momentarily forget the chaos surrounding their families. The air crackles with chemistry, and for a brief second, it feels like nothing could tear them apart, not the feuds, not the scandals, nothing. But just as their embrace deepens, the door swings open with a jarring thud. Ridge Forrester storms in, his expression a mix of surprise and stern disapproval, shattering the intimate bubble. His sudden intrusion not only douses the flames of romance but also pivots the conversation to a far graver topic, the growing threat posed by Luna Nozawa. Ridge, ever the protective patriarch, wastes no time in addressing the elephant in the room. He learns from Will that Luna has been reaching out, sending cryptic and unsettling texts that hint at her unhinged state of mind. Electra, with a quiver in her voice, adds fuel to the fire by revealing she recently faced Luna head-on in a tense exchange that left her shaken. Ridge's paternal instincts kick into high gear as he warns the young couple to steer clear of Luna at all costs, emphasizing that her instability makes her a ticking time bomb. He recounts past incidents where Luna's actions have spiraled into chaos, painting a vivid picture of the risks involved. Will and Electra exchange uneasy glances, torn between heeding Ridge's cautionary words and their own curiosity about Luna's motives. Will they heed his advice, or will youthful defiance lead them into dangerous territory? Only time will tell, but the seeds of doubt and fear have been planted firmly in their minds. Across town, at the cozy yet tension-filled Sharp residence, Deacon Sharp finds himself at a crossroads that could redefine his future. Sheila Carter, his enigmatic and often controversial wife, drops a bombshell that rocks the foundation of their already fragile marriage. With a heavy heart and eyes brimming with guilt, she admits to secretly meeting with their granddaughter, Luna, behind Deacon's back. These clandestine encounters, she explains, were driven by a desperate need to reconnect with family, a longing she couldn't suppress despite the risks. Deacon listens in stunned silence, his mind racing with questions. Hasn't Sheila learned from her tumultuous past? How could she betray his trust in such a way, knowing the potential consequences? His heart wrestles with conflicting emotions, anger at her deception, but also a flicker of empathy for her yearning to mend broken familial ties. The room grows heavy with unspoken words as Deacon ponders his next move. Will he extend a hand of forgiveness, choosing to believe in Sheila's capacity for change, or will this be the final straw that severs their bond for good? Their history is a tapestry of second chances and heartbreak, and this moment feels like a make-or-break juncture. As Sheila pleads for understanding, citing her loneliness and the void left by years of estrangement, Deacon's stoic demeanor hints at an internal storm. Perhaps he'll seek counsel from a trusted friend or reflect on the vows they exchanged under such unlikely circumstances. Whatever his decision, it will ripple through their lives and beyond, potentially altering Luna's trajectory as well. Meanwhile, the central storm of this episode brews around Luna Nozawa, whose descent into darkness takes a menacing turn. Fresh off a heated confrontation at the Cliff House with Steffi Forrester, Luna's emotions are a volatile mix of frustration and desperation. The encounter was anything but cordial. Luna, with a voice trembling between anger and plea, implored Steffi to let go of the past. "Can't you see I've changed? Why won't you give me a chance to prove I'm not the monster you think I am?" she cried, her words dripping with raw emotion. But Steffi, unyielding and protective of her family, stood her ground like a fortress, her icy gaze conveying that trust is a luxury Luna no longer deserves. The tension escalated as John Finnegan, Luna's biological father, arrived at the scene, his presence a beacon of hope for Luna, yet that hope was swiftly extinguished. Clutching at straws, Luna begged him not to abandon her, her voice cracking under the weight of rejection. "Dad, please, I just want to be part of your life," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. But John, burdened by past betrayals and the danger Luna represents, turned away, his silence more deafening than any words could be. This heartbreaking dismissal becomes the catalyst for Luna's next move. As she storms away from the Cliff House, the sting of rejection morphs into a cold, calculated rage. Alone with her thoughts, she begins to weave a sinister plot, her mind fixating on Steffi as the ultimate barrier to the family connection she craves. In the quiet of her solitude, Luna's once bright eyes now glint with a dangerous resolve. She mutters to herself about removing obstacles, hinting at a revenge scheme so audacious it could upend lives. Perhaps she'll enlist an unlikely ally or unearth a hidden secret about Steffi to use as leverage. Maybe she's crafting a trap so intricate that even the sharpest minds at Forrester Creations won't see it coming. Whatever her plan, it's clear that Luna is no longer content to beg for acceptance, she's ready to fight for it, no matter the cost. The streets of Los Angeles become her chessboard, and every move she makes drips with calculated malice, setting the stage for a showdown that could redefine alliances and shatter loyalties. As the threads of romance, betrayal, and vengeance intertwine, this episode of The Bold and the Beautiful promises to be a roller coaster of emotions and unexpected twists. Will Ridge's warning to Will and Electra be enough to shield them from Luna's wrath, or will their curiosity draw them into her web? Can Deacon find it in his heart to forgive Sheila, or is this the end of their tumultuous love story? And most importantly, what deadly lengths will Luna go to in her quest for revenge against Steffi? Each question hangs in the air like a storm cloud, ready to burst with revelations and consequences. Next, we will delve into the simmering tensions and explosive confrontations shaking up The Bold and the Beautiful in an episode brimming with raw emotion and hidden agendas. At the heart of this gripping installment, Luna Nozawa faces off with Steffi Forrester in a battle of wills at the Cliff House, desperately pleading her case to reconnect with her father, John Finnegan. Meanwhile, across town, Sheila Carter wrestles with her own conflicted feelings as Deacon Sharp grows suspicious of her distant behavior, uncovering ties to Luna that could unravel everything. With stakes higher than ever, let's explore the intricate layers of family drama, guilt, and forbidden connections that threaten to upend lives in Los Angeles. The scene at the Cliff House is charged with an almost palpable intensity as Luna Nozawa stands before Steffi Forrester, her eyes burning with a mix of defiance and desperation. She begins by asserting her groundwork, coolly mentioning that she ensured their meeting would be uninterrupted, a statement that sends a shiver down Steffi's spine. Steffi, ever quick to defend her territory, clutches her phone like a lifeline, her voice sharp as she questions whether Luna is issuing a veiled threat. Luna's response is laced with bitter irony, her tone heavy as she counters, "I don't owe you a single thing, Steffi, but I do feel compelled to repay a debt, one way or another." Steffi, unimpressed and resolute, brushes off Luna's cryptic words, her posture rigid as she refuses to entertain any dialogue with the woman who has brought so much pain to her family. Undeterred, Luna presses on, her voice cracking with emotion as she reminds Steffi of their undeniable connection. Luna is, after all, Finn's daughter, a fact that cannot be erased no matter how much Steffi wishes it so. Steffi's retort is icy, cutting deep as she declares that Finn has washed his hands of Luna entirely, a rejection that pierces Luna like a dagger. Luna's frustration boils over as she accuses Steffi of being the sole barrier between her and her father, her words trembling with anguish. "You want me to vanish, to act like I don't exist, but I'm here, Steffi, I'm real, and I need him in my life," she cries, her hands clenched into fists. She questions how much more Steffi expects her to endure, how much more isolation she must suffer under Steffi's unrelenting judgment. In a moment of vulnerability, Luna even contemplates whether Steffi wants her to grovel, to beg on her knees for a sliver of compassion. But Steffi remains unmoved, her gaze hard as she shatters Luna's hopes with a harsh reality check, accusing her of clinging to a delusional dream where Finn might one day overlook her violent past, her murderous actions, and welcome her with open arms. "You're a killer, Luna," Steffi snaps, her voice dripping with contempt as she brings up the tragic fates of Tom Starr and Hollis, victims of Luna's dark deeds. "Why don't you justify yourself to them?" "Oh, right, you can't." Stung by the accusation, Luna screams back, her voice raw with pain, insisting she's not the monster she once was, that she's changed. Yet, her pleas fall on deaf ears as Steffi stands firm, a wall of resentment. Luna's final stand is a declaration of defiance. She vows not to let Steffi strip away her chance to know her father, her resolve hardening with every word. The ocean waves crashing below the cliff house seem to echo the storm brewing between these two women, a clash that hints at dangerous repercussions yet to unfold. Could Luna's desperation push her toward drastic measures, perhaps seeking allies in unexpected corners of the Forrester world? The tension is a lit fuse, and the explosion is inevitable. Meanwhile, in the quieter but no less turbulent setting of their shared home, Sheila Carter finds herself lost in a labyrinth of troubling thoughts, her mind replaying a chilling conversation with Luna where the young woman hinted at a sinister plot to remove Steffi from the equation. Sheila's face is a mask of worry, her usually sharp demeanor dulled by the weight of what she's heard. The front door creaks open, and Deacon Sharp steps in, his brow furrowed with concern as he notices Sheila's uncharacteristic silence. "Hey, I've been texting you for hours, where've you been, baby?" he asks, his tone a blend of frustration and care as he crosses the room to sit beside her on their worn leather couch. Sheila barely acknowledges him at first, her gaze distant, as if she's staring into a void a million miles away. Deacon, sensing the heaviness in the air, gently pries, his hand resting on hers as he urges her to open up about whatever is gnawing at her soul. After a long, pregnant pause, Sheila exhales shakily and confesses that her turmoil revolves around Finn, Steffi, and, most critically, her granddaughter, Luna. Deacon's expression softens momentarily at the mention of family, offering a glimmer of hope as he reassures Sheila that Finn's son, Hayes, might one day embrace her as his grandmother when he's old enough to understand their complicated history. But Sheila shakes her head, her voice barely above a whisper as she clarifies, "No, Deacon, I mean Luna, my granddaughter Luna." The name hangs in the air like a thunderclap, and Deacon's demeanor shifts instantly from supportive to incredulous. His voice rises with indignation as he launches into a tirade about Luna's dangerous nature, branding her a sociopath responsible for the brutal murders of Tom and Hollis, not to mention her near-fatal actions against Steffi, Hayes' mother. "That girl is unhinged, call her what she is, Loony Luna," he snaps, his frustration boiling over at the thought of Sheila having any connection to such a volatile figure. Sheila winces at the harsh nickname, her protective instincts flaring as she quietly pleads with Deacon not to speak of Luna in such terms, hinting at a deeper bond or perhaps a shared secret that she's not yet ready to reveal. Deacon's eyes narrow with suspicion, his gut telling him there's more to this story than meets the eye. Leaning closer, his voice drops to a stern, almost pleading tone as he demands the truth. Tell me right now, Sheila. Swear to me you've had nothing to do with that girl. The room grows suffocating with tension as Sheila hesitates, her silence speaking volumes. Could she be hiding clandestine meetings with Luna, or worse, complicity in a scheme that could endanger Steffi and others? Perhaps Sheila sees in Luna a reflection of her own misunderstood past, a kinship that clouds her judgment. Whatever the truth, Deacon's trust in his wife hangs by a thread, and this moment could be the tipping point for their already fragile marriage. The flickering light of a nearby candle casts shadows on their faces, mirroring the uncertainty that looms over their future together. Next, we will immerse ourselves in the tangled web of family drama, hidden resentments, and desperate pleas that define the latest episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. From the Forrester mansion to the Cliff House, emotions run high as Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes grapple with concerns for their daughter Steffi's safety amid Luna Nozawa's unsettling presence. Meanwhile, Finn wrestles with his own conflicted feelings under the stern guidance of Lee Finnegan, and Luna herself makes a bold, emotional stand to claim her place in her father's life. With heartbreak and danger lurking around every corner, let's dive deep into the charged encounters and unspoken fears that promise to shake up the Forrester and Finnegan families. Our journey begins in the opulent surroundings of the Forrester mansion, where Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes steal a rare moment of intimacy amid their hectic lives. Nestled together on a plush velvet sofa, their affectionate whispers are interrupted by the sharp chime of a text notification about a meeting Ridge had cancelled but neglected to inform the attendees. With a sheepish grin, he fires off a quick apology message before turning back to Taylor, his eyes softening as he pulls her closer. Taylor, glowing with warmth, teases him about striking gold with her, declaring herself the luckiest woman to have him by her side. She extends that sentiment to their daughter Steffi, marveling at the beautiful family she's built with Finn, a bond so strong it radiates love and stability. Ridge nods in agreement, reflecting on Finn's role as a steadfast second father figure to Kelly, Steffi's daughter, while acknowledging Liam Spencer's enduring presence as her biological dad, a good man, despite the complicated figures who orbit his life. Their conversation takes a lighter turn when Taylor mentions a patient cancellation, freeing up her afternoon, and the topic circles back to Steffi and Finn. Ridge suggests the couple deserves a brief escape, a few days to recharge away from the chaos. Taylor muses about the beach house as the perfect retreat, a secluded haven with ocean breezes and sandy shores to melt away stress. But the mood darkens as Ridge voices a shared concern. Hoping that Sheila Carter and Luna Nozawa will keep their distance from Steffi and her family. They revisit the shocking revelation of Luna being Finn's daughter, a truth that struck Steffi like a lightning bolt, unraveling trust and stirring fear. Ridge's frustration spills over as he lambasts Bill Spencer for unleashing Luna's destructive tendencies upon their world, a decision he sees as reckless. Together, they lament that life would be simpler if Luna remained behind bars, out of reach. Ridge's voice drops to a grave whisper as he confesses his deep-seated worry. Luna's mental state seems unhinged, a ticking clock that could spiral into catastrophe and jeopardize Steffi's safety. Perhaps he recalls past warning signs or imagines worst-case scenarios where Luna's obsession turns deadly. Taylor's furrowed brow mirrors his dread, as they both ponder how to shield their daughter from a storm they fear is brewing on the horizon. Meanwhile, in the quiet, sterile confines of Finn's office at the hospital, a heavy conversation unfolds between him and his mother, Lee Finnegan. Finn, seated behind his desk cluttered with medical charts, meets Lee's stern gaze as he firmly states that Luna can never be woven into the fabric of his life. Lee, standing with arms crossed, can't hide her persistent anxiety, her maternal instincts on high alert. She reinforces a harsh boundary, reminding Finn that he must never view Luna as his daughter. She is, in her eyes, nothing more than a murderer who once caged Steffi in a horrifying ordeal, a memory etched in Finn's mind with vivid terror as he recalls finding his wife in such peril. Lee's voice trembles with urgency as she insists he must not soften toward Luna, nor harbor any pity for her, regardless of their biological tie. She paints Luna as a master of manipulation, a young woman who refuses to own her actions, always pointing fingers elsewhere for her misfortunes. Poppy's daughter is a creeping poison, Lee warns, her words sharp as scalpels. Finn, though, quietly acknowledges the undeniable truth: Luna is his daughter, just as Sheila Carter is his birth mother, facts he can't erase no matter how much they sting. Lee recoils at his admission, her disapproval clear as she snaps that she loathes hearing him claim Luna in such terms. Finn, ever the peacemaker, reaches out to reassure her, his voice warm with gratitude as he affirms that Lee will always be his true mother, the one he's proud to call his own. Tears glisten in Lee's eyes as she confesses her sole wish has always been his happiness, a dream now threatened by looming shadows. While Sheila may be lying low for now, Luna remains a persistent specter, unwilling to fade into the background and allow Finn to live peacefully with Steffi and their children. Lee's intuition screams that Luna is plotting something, a danger unspoken but palpable. Finn vows to keep Luna at bay, having already declared she has no place in his world, yet Lee fears his words may have fallen on deaf ears, that Luna's refusal to accept rejection could spell trouble. Perhaps Lee envisions Luna's persistence escalating, or worries Finn's innate compassion might one day crack under her pleas. The sterile walls of the office seem to close in, amplifying the weight of their shared apprehension. The tension crescendos at the Cliff House, where Luna Nozawa makes an uninvited appearance, her voice trembling with a cocktail of pain and determination as she confronts Steffi. Standing in the airy living room with panoramic ocean views, Luna pours out her heart, blaming a tormented childhood for the mistakes that define her past.